All right. Wonderful opportunity today to chat with Becca Clare Hart from the Children's Theater Company's version of Wizard of Oz, Auntie M and Glinda. Becca, welcome. Tell us a little bit about this production and how it has been preparing for such an iconic show.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for having me. They announced that they were going to do this show last year, I think in preparation for the 75th anniversary of the film, which is this spring. And it's just an incredible film. And so a lot of theaters around the country are doing productions of the show. I auditioned. I did not even know Auntie Em and Glinda could be played by the same person, but here we are, and we love that. and it's been really, really delightful to get into the room, not only with those wonderful company members there, but with the kids. A lot of people are doing lines as if like they're an homage to the original movie. And then there'll be people doing like completely original new takes on things. So there's enough nostalgia, there's enough new work happening. It's all inspiring and it's all really, really fun.
Yeah, you mentioned the student actors, the adult actors. There's a real life dog playing Toto. What sort of
Yes.
variables has that kind of thrown into the mix, both with a production on stage and in the audience that's going to be filled with children as well as real life animals?
We did just get to meet the Totos yesterday, and there's two of them because
Okay.
one is very good at running around being cute, and one is very good at sitting perfectly still. And
Yes.
both are needed for the show.
Typecasting,
So
yes.
exactly. So the Toto's going to be great. Toto, I think, has worked on Broadway, so Toto is the star of the show as far as I'm concerned. Working with the kids is the best. It's always the best, whether it's at Children's Theater or another theater around town. Um, they just come in with so much energy and so much delight for the magic. They have so many smart things to say about the story and what their characters are going through. And I did not grow up in Minnesota, but I can only imagine how incredible it is to go with your school group as like a second or third or even, high schooler grader to go see people your own age on a stage like that. And they'll certainly have some things to say from the audience. And so I'm very excited to hear what sort of reactions we get.
Yeah, it's always one of our favorite parts to see the interaction and the breaking of that fourth wall, if you will. And it's probably something that has to have all of you on stage thinking on your toes as well. When it does come to that, is there direction that you're given or that you just know to say, okay, it's inevitable. A second grader will yell out and something will happen. Is there any direction that says interact with that, play along with it, just pretend like it didn't happen?
That's a good question. There hasn't been any specific direction to that end in this particular production, but I will say we have company members in the cast. So we have Reed Sigmund, we have Dean Holt, we have Autumn Ness, and those three, if you've ever been to a children's theater show, you've seen them. Like, for example, Reed Sigmund is the Grinch.
Yeah.
He's the king of responding to children shouting out things at him. And it just kind of depends on the moment, if there's a huge explosion of noise, you don't have to turn and acknowledge it, but you might wait a little beat longer before you say the next important thing you have to say, like click your heels together 3 times. But sometimes, I think particularly maybe even for the companions, like for the Scarecrow and for the Tin Man and for the Cowardly Lion, I imagine that, or probably even the Wicked Witch, those are probably characters that if there was a good shout out from the audience, they might even turn and address it. Actually, I would imagine Autumn Ness would love to frighten some children with ad libs as the Wicked Witch. So
Absolutely.
we're open to it for sure.
Yes, no doubt. And you're pros. You're always on your toes.
That's good. I
You
like that.
you mentioned I kind of just rolled off the tongue. It wasn't planned. You mentioned the 75th anniversary of the film. We're also living in an interesting era for this story and this world where Wicked is a thing, and Wicked is a very popular thing. Where now the audience is going to oftentimes carry in with it some extra knowledge of your character, of some of the other characters. How do you approach that, given the fact that it is not just the original film that people are kind of referencing. There's a backstory, there's emotion, there's different pieces of it that specifically for you go into your character.
Yeah, we love Wicked. Everybody loves Wicked. Maybe there's someone who doesn't, but I have not met them. It is the fact that those are such iconic, not only roles of like Glinda and the Wicked Witch, but the fact that we have such iconic versions with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel. It almost feels like permission to do something else. Because it's like, oh, no way am I going to exactly copy what those incredible women did. So we're going to find our own magic. So that I thought that might be constricting. Like, oh, am I going to feel pressure to try and emulate that? But if anything, it's just been more inspiring to take the flavors that they've had that I can replicate and then just add my own into the mix. And I feel like other actors have been doing that as well, from what I can see.
Yeah, you've referenced it a couple times. You just did kind of there, but this story is iconic. The songs people know, the imagery people have thoughts in their heads, but there's always creative license. There's always something specifically that CTC does well that changes it up, just to kind of keep it fresh and to keep introduce a new audience maybe, but also keep everyone ready for what's coming around the corner. Is that an element that when you see all the production, there's sound and lights and music and all these things, does it throw you off with such a familiar story where you feel like you know everything, that when you're on stage, I mean, you guys have rehearsed this, but for the audience, do you think that those changes are welcome at this point, just to kind of, like you said, shake it up a little bit?
I would hope so. We have a yellow brick road. We're going to have a rainbow, but the way that we've had to, how do you do a tornado on stage? How do you go from black and white to color? How do you melt a witch? How do you do that? And so how do you have trees that throw apples at you? We did that scene yesterday and I was laughing so hard. And it's cool. It's almost as if you can see the outline of, oh, I recognize these shapes and that's the Emerald City. But the way that they've been adapted to put on stage, like the textures of the costumes or the way that the poppies emerge, are unique and cool. And I will, without spoiling it, I will say that the way that color enters the world, not only right when Dorothy gets to Oz, but it kind of continues to seep in and get more and more saturated throughout the whole story. I'm very excited to see how that plays on stage, because the designs look wonderful.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you about. Walk me through the process. You guys do a lot of work behind the scenes. You're in studios that are just rooms, classrooms, whatever it might be, doing a lot of rehearsals. And then you have those moments when you get on stage. You see the set, you see the costumes. And in a movie like this, where color and creativity plays such a big part of it, what is that experience like for you and the cast as you kind of get to actually... It starts to feel real, and you get to see the beauty that the rest of the team, the behind-the-scenes team, has been working on while you guys have been rehearsing.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's a nice reminder that when we, the actors, get in for day one, we're like, oh, first day of school. And the designers, the lighting people, everyone is like, we have been working on this for like a year and a half. And we're like, la, 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 this is so great and new. And they're like, we've been... working so hard on all these details. So, but one of my two favorite days of process, other than just getting started, one would be the Sits Probe, where we sit and we just sing through the show with the orchestra for the first time. It's magical, and I have already cried. I cry every time Dorothy sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The two actresses who play her are just amazing, so I'm probably gonna cry again. And then the first day on set, when everyone, you go to your dressing rooms, you get dressed, and you come out and you're seeing not only the set for the first time, but you're seeing your fellow actors and their costumes, and you have this moment of like, oh wow, that the audience will then have each night they come to the show. So it's always really fantastic, and it will be distracting as we get used to it. I'm gonna have to learn how to fly in a bubble and then make it look like I do it all the time and that I'm not geeking out, but I will be on the inside.
Right. Do you ever get used to it? Is it something you always get butterflies a little bit as you get ready to take the stage in a good way?
I think so. I certainly do. And sometimes the butterflies are so big, I have to be like, this is fun. Remember that this is fun. You get so excited to do it well and to like give the people a good show. So that's a good perspective on it that I try, and me and the other adult company members try and are helping to the kids and the young actors in the room to learn, like, like those feelings, like those are totally normal. You don't have to pretend that you're not feeling those emotions, but don't worry, you're not alone. You can think of it more of just like excitement, or like how cool it is that this matters so much, that you want to do so well. And like it's at the end of the day, it's like it's called play. We're here to have fun.
Yeah.
And so I certainly still experience some of that myself. um, and yeah, we're just trying to help everyone know that that's normal, and that all of those things are okay in the room.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing, and I really do believe from the audience. And I've had a handful of these conversations, so some of the behind the scenes kind of pieces pop up. But at the same time, I really do believe from the audience you can feel the community familial kind of bond between the cast, and the opportunity to help the younger kids, but also to invest in the adults and really put on a wonderful production. It's
Yeah.
a special thing, I think, in the theater world, but specifically at CTC. Is that fostered? Is it just by bringing in the right people? Is it the leadership? Where do you see that coming from?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's, what's the opposite of a vicious cycle? Like a virtuous
Beautiful
rainbow?
song.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, beautiful circle. It's been going forever, which is
Right.
amazing. So I'm sure that in a room, like, you want it to come from the top down. So you have our wonderful director, Rick Dildine, you have our wonderful choreographers and composers and like music directors. So it's coming from them, but also by the people that they're having in the room is just continuing to generate. Like, you have the company members I mentioned, you have people like me who are not company members but love to work there. You have some brand new people who have just this delight and energy of finally getting to work at this wonderful place. You have some kids who are returning. And it's just in a space like that, you're making a play together, but you're also just showing how, to be in any professional space, and how you as a person showing up with like joy and kindness for one another is just going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
And the hope is that the kids go home like the adults do every day, talking about the play, but also just talking about like the memories they're making, and like the bravery that they're getting to explore, and that they're getting to feel proud of themselves and the work
Yeah.
that they're doing.
Yeah, CTC does such a good job of exposing young kids to the arts, with field trip days and the opportunities to host shows like this that bring out the whole family, and do spark
Mhm.
those conversations. As we wrap up here, tell me your vision on the impact of the arts. We firmly believe in theater. We believe in the power of that art, and the opportunity to continue to help people stretch their imagination in different ways than other than just sitting on the couch looking at their device. Where have you seen the power of theater, the power of the arts in your life really showcase itself?
That these have all been really good questions. Um, it's funny. I feel like the things I do outside of theater only help me do better theater, of just like engaging in different communities and like exploring different things I like to do, only help me perform art more. And in the same way, that like curiosity and fortitude and openness you want to have in an artistic space can only help you in the quote unquote real world, in the outside world.
Sure.
um and it's been kind of a crazy time lately, not
Yeah.
only in the world or the country, but in our immediate community. And it can feel like you can never do enough. You can feel like you can spend 8 days a week doing mutual aid and going to protests and helping all sorts of people in all these ways, making donations. Um, and one friend reminded me that while you have to protest the bad things, you have to build up and hold spaces for the good things. That in itself is only elongating the goodness in the world. And so that's been that. And sometimes when I'm like, I don't know what to do, I'm just like, well, I might not know everything to do, but I can go consciously make a space for these young people and these adults to feel safe and welcome. And hopefully that will, if they can just carry some of that into the next day, maybe it'll help them get through another tough time that might be coming down the road.
It's beautiful and very important. I really like that answer. That was really good.
Yeah, I passed that on. That was not words from someone else.
No, it's amazing. That's a wonderful way to kind of share that too. So thank you for this conversation. This is so fun. We're really looking forward to coming out to see The Wizard of Oz. Runs April 21st through June 14th. So we've got a little time before we get in there, but at the same time, it's already something that's on the calendar. It's already something we're looking forward to. And I think that this is going to be one of those shows that because of the popularity of Wicked, the popularity of the 75th anniversary, all the things surrounding one of the biggest IPs ever, I mean, to begin with, I think it's a good time for everybody to be doing these sorts of shows, but we're excited for CTC to bring this back, excited to come see you as Auntie M and Glinda, and excited to kind of continue to pass that on to that generation and that opportunity that might just need a little bit of a reprieve from everyday life, just to remind that there are good, beautiful things out there, and we can celebrate those and share and pass those on as well. So thank you.
Yeah, come hear the music. Come see the magic.